Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us on the first Tuesday of 2022. We love to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille Network. Of course, we're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world. So much to cover on today's show. We're presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary. Skooma Boutique Dispensary in the Charlottesville Downtown Mall, the best dispensary in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. It's located right next to Rapture. Skooma Boutique Dispensary. Our friends at Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine, who's got your back? Fantastic partners of the network. Dr. Wagner and his team, people you can trust at Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine. Let me give you a rundown of topics we will talk about today. And if you look at the screen now, you will see those topics on there. And Judah's our fabulous director, Judah Wickhauer. Do you have the two-shot ready to go already, Judah? You do. Why don't you flip to that? Wave to your adoring fans and audience that love seeing Judah on screen. There's Judah, our fantastic team member. So I'm going to give a quick hitters of what we'll talk about on the show before we get into the topics, J-Dubs. So when I get to that second 9, flip the headlines to those. So here's the first 9 topics we'll talk on the show. UVA Medical Center is restricting visitors due to Omicron. We'll talk about that briefly. Hardee's on 5th Street has sold for $3.5 million to Corin Capshaw's Riverbend development. A Wawa is slated to open at the former Hearties location. We'll talk cause and effect of that transaction. Unfortunately, we had a fatality on 5th Street. I used to live off 5th Street. In fact, I lived off 5th Street extended for 15 years. A lot of perspective I can offer there. Three Notch Brewing Company, my favorite brewing company, has signed a Commonwealth-wide distribution deal. I'll offer some perspective on that deal. Kids were supposed to return to school today. Snow has canceled school, including, Judah, virtual learning. Yes, snow canceling virtual learning. Wintergreen resuming skiing. It took a brief hiatus due to the unseasonably warm weather. We'll talk Wintergreen resuming skiing, and more importantly, the impact of cold weather to not only Wintergreen, but real estate values in Nelson County and in Wintergreen. Atlantic Union is closing its downtown branch in March. What is the future of banking in downtown Charlottesville? The NCAA tournament is on schedule for now. I'll give you some perspective on that. Washington announcing a new name on February 2nd. It's been a long time since the Washington football team has had a mascot or a nickname. New York City real estate, Judah, now in the back 9 of the topics. New York City real estate is topping record prices, and 2021 was the best year for real estate in Manhattan. Senator Tim Kaine, thank you, Jeff Leonard, for giving us this topic. Trapped on I-95, Apple hitting a $1 trillion valuation, the first company to hit a $1 trillion valuation, Apple. We will talk the best food and drink during a snow day, the best food and drink for a snow day, and we will encourage you to follow I Love CVille on Instagram and on Twitter, and we're proud to launch a new show tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. on the I Love CVille Network featuring Scott Morris. Here's an interesting tidbit about Apple, $1 trillion valuation. If you combine Walmart, Disney, Netflix, Nike, ExxonMobil, Coca-Cola, Comcast, Morgan Stanley, McDonald's, AT&T, Goldman Sachs, Boeing, IBM, and Ford, you combine the valuations of all those, still Apple is worth more. That was from the New York Times yesterday. All right, Judah Wickhauer, let's start with UVA Medical Center restricting visitors. We saw this coming. Omicron is no joke. This variant is extremely contagious. The positive, and I'm a glasses half full kind of guy, the ramifications or the collateral damage of catching Omicron significantly less severe than past variants, especially for those that have been vaccinated. Another PSA from yours truly to get vaccinated. The University of Virginia Medical Center, new restrictions in place for visitors. That was announced Thursday, December 30th. Visitors will not be allowed at the inpatient units and the transitional care hospital as of 9 p.m. Thursday, December 30th. Additionally, starting yesterday at 7 a.m., visitors also will be restricted from the emergency department, outpatient clinics, and outpatient procedural areas. That was as of 7 a.m. yesterday. I mean, I bring this to your attention, not for the doom and gloom, but I bring this to your attention to encourage folks to get vaccinated. Imagine having a loved one or a family, a friend, at UVA Medical, and you're unable to visit them, and they're in the hospital bed by themselves without loved ones and friends and family around. Get vaxxed. The collateral damage of COVID is considerably less severe when you're vaccinated. And the last thing we need to do is to strain the supply chain that is hospitals in our community. That's not good, especially with weather like this out there and people getting stuck or worse. I mean, and I'm jumping ahead here on the rundown. The rundown is the topics on the screen. Look at the screen now. There was a car accident on 5th Street. That accident on 5th Street left one dead. I'll offer my perspective on what I think is one of the most dangerous roads in this community here shortly. I'll close on the first topic, UVA Medical Center not allowing visitors to many of its, frankly, all of its spots. Get vaccinated, please. Next topic is an intriguing one. And Judah, I'm going to get your perspective on this, okay? It's the Hearties selling for $3.5 million, $3.5 million to Corin Capshaw's Riverbend development. Corin Capshaw, the second most prolific developer in this community behind the University of Virginia and its foundation. So the Hearties on 5th Street, let's dot the I's and cross the T's, J-Dubs. Why don't we go to the two shot? And you and I can powwow and conversate and have a good time, and people can see that handsome mug of yours. You and I have both spent significant time down 5th Street Extended. Your parents live there now. My first piece of property ownership was at the Villas at Southern Ridge. That's down 5th Street Extended, now a rental property. Lived there for a little over 7 years. In fact, I launched VMV Brands, our advertising agency, and I Love CVille from the Villas at Southern Ridge almost 14 years ago in May. In fact, Judah, when you started working for this firm, now about 10 years ago, my friend?
Getting there.
Do you remember working from my condo at the Villas at Southern Ridge?
Oh, yeah.
Spent many a time there. You know it well. Your parents lived down that way. So, thoughts on Hearties. Toward the tail end, the Hearties on 5th Street was a shadow of the Hearties that we formerly know. Did you spend any time there at the latter portions of Hearties? Any fast food?
I've never been to that Hearties.
Smart man.
Was it that bad?
It was that bad. It was.
You mean, was it like?
Wasn't clean.
Hood.
Serve it.
I
won't go down that way. I'll say it wasn't clean.
It just wasn't well taken care of.
It wasn't well taken care of. Service wasn't great. Food quality suffered. What we both are probably in agreement is that location, how would you characterize it?
It's awkward.
You say awkward? It is slightly awkward getting in and out.
Who's going to walk there? I mean, the only thing on that side of the road coming from the other way, coming from town, is what? Like,
so you're saying coming from Whittington, Mosby Mountain, Redfield, the Villas at Southern Ridge, from Albemarle County coming into downtown Charlottesville is what you're talking about. I'm trying to paint the picture here for the viewers and listeners, especially those that are streaming on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify in their car.
I'm just talking about walking. So if you're coming from town towards 64, there's no real sidewalk going there.
I don't see many people walking there. I'll give you that.
And if you're across the street, it's not a great street to cross.
No, it's like playing Frogger.
And nobody's going to come walking from the other direction. And if you're driving, you've got to. I mean, I guess you can turn off into there once you turn, like if you're going into 5th Street Station, but it's still just awkward.
It's undoubtedly
an awkward spot.
We'll characterize it this way. It's undoubtedly a vehicle destination and not a pedestrian destination. And that's apropos.
And even as a vehicle destination, it's awkward.
And I'll give you that as well. So that leads me into the topic. Corin, Camshaw, and Riverbend Development buy the Hearties for $3.5 million. They're going to develop the Hardee site into a Wawa. The Wawa is going to be next to Tiger Fuels market. They got a car wash there. They got a Tiger Fuel market right there. Gas stations right there. So there'll be competing stations and competing convenience stores next to each other. Across the street, another gas station as well. Nikki Chambliss let us know on Real Talk this morning. Jerry Russell, hello. Bill McChesney, hello. Adam Dean, hello. Nikki Chambliss in the morning show let us know it was an Exxon across the street from the Tiger Fuel. This is what I want to go. This is the real topic that I want to talk about. When Corin and Riverbend Development take that Hearties on 5th Street and make it a Wawa, and when we come February and March, I'm an optimist and a positive guy. Omicron is going to get worse in January, but the data suggests that after January is over, and as vaccinations become even more popular and gain more market share, this likely will be potentially behind us until come the next winter. As we head into, here's what I'm saying. As we head into spring, I think Omicron and COVID is going to be more manageable. Warmer temperatures, more people outside, not flu season, people are going to be more vaccinated. So as businesses come back to market, I think you'll see the popularity of 5th Street Station resume. Alamo Drafthouse, your favorite movie theater, gets popular again. Panera Bread, Wegmans, Dick's, Field and Stream, Chim. The restaurants at 5th Street will get more popular again. We know the market, the Tiger Fuel location is quite popular. Wawa's going to come eventually on the scene here. That area will be a vehicle cluster duck. Said duck, D-U-C-K, did not use the profanity. It'll be a cluster duck, that area. Agree or disagree first on that?
I agree. I mean, they're not developing. It's like we're going to develop businesses, but we're not going to develop the roads. It just, it shows a lack of foresight.
Jerry Russell says this: do we really need another gas station on the feed? Thank you for watching, Jerry Russell. We appreciate your perspective. That's the question I ask. And this is what I get back to, and it's a theme that's very prevalent on the show. The invisible hand of capitalism is a dominant force that will forever continue to change Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia as we know it. Another example of the invisible hand of capitalism, the $20 million purchase of the UVA Foundation of Ivy Square Shopping Center. Another example of the invisible hand of capitalism, Hunter Craig developing the strip center, the shopping strip next to Bel Air Market on Ivy Road. Development and change are undoubtedly inevitable. PJ Dickerson, welcome to the program. So this is the question I have for you. You got family that lives down 5th Street. I got a rental property down 5th Street in the Villas at Southern Ridge. 5th Street extended. Hot or cold on its future? Concerned, or do you see the development as a positive for real estate and quality of life down 5th Street extended? That's the urban ring.
I'm not the person to ask, but I would say that
you're a smart guy.
I would say that I'd be positive towards 5th Street extended. I mean, you've got the 5th Street station. You've got if you've got people wanting to do something with that Hearties. It's clear that people want to spend money there, and so that means for people that live down there, it's not like anyone's abandoning shopping centers out there.
Bruce Wagner says this. Bruce, thank you for watching the program. I'm going to read your comment on air. I will read this on air. I just typed that and sent that to Bruce. That intersection was already maxed out in the afternoon. already you could not make turns into the Hardees. And he's right. If you were trying to get into 5th Street Station in the afternoon as people were driving home, have you experienced that?
Well, if you've got even like 6 or 7 cars trying to leave 5th Street Station, then you're pretty much blocked from taking a left into Hearties. If you just came in off of 5th Street. So yeah, it's like I said, it's awkward.
Scott Bandy says this. He's typing, he's watching. So we're live on 15 Facebook pages, 15 Twitter accounts, across all social media platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Viewers and listeners, you can change the pace and tempo of the show by sharing your perspective. Scott Bandy, one of our loyal listeners who have very much have grown to appreciate you, Scott. That Hardees on 5th Street was originally about as unplanned as when I-64 was when first considered back in the early 60s. Well said. I relayed that on air. Jerry Russell agrees with our commentary. Judah Wickhauer. She's watching on our Instagram page. Jerry, we appreciate you very much. So here's I'm gonna get to the next topic, but before I get to the next topic, I'm gonna add this. This is one of the reasons why I literally am running for Albemarle County Board of Supervisors. It is paramount that leadership in our community, and even more importantly, residents, taxpayers in our community, hold the community accountable. Development without a strategy is congestion, sprawl, and negatively impacts quality of life. Development with a strategy and with a thought-out approach leads to a better community. Taking a road that is arguably one of the most dangerous in Charlottesville, in 5th Street, especially extended, undoubtedly, I mean, that's our next topic. We had a fatality on 5th Street. Literally a fatality on 5th Street, a car accident fatality. Taking a road that is already dangerous, where people are hauling tail at 60 miles an hour, and adding more congestion does not translate to improved quality of life. It translates to cars waiting, cars crowded in traffic, the environment being impacted because cars are on the roads longer, vehicles are on the roads longer, people away from their family because they're not getting to home quicker for dinner. A potentially increase in accidents or worse on the corridor. I'll ask you this. Can you name a more, and there are some that are more dangerous. Can you name more, and Jude, I'm going to ask you this question. I want that big, beautiful brain of yours going on this. The most dangerous roads in Albemarle County, the city of Charlottesville, or in Central Virginia. I want you to think of some of yours. What are the most dangerous roads in Albemarle County, in Charlottesville, and in Central Virginia? 5th Street extended, especially at Old Lynchburg Road and Sunset. If you're coming from Sunset or Old Lynchburg Road, Jude and I have tremendous experience doing this, right? When you're trying to come from Old Lynchburg to Sunset, back to 5th Street to head to Charlottesville, you're going across a couple of lanes of traffic. There are no traffic lights there, and some of those, especially when the sun is setting, can be blind turns coming into the area. So you're risking a potential T-bone. That happens every year. Someone T-bone at that 5th Street Sunset corridor, and those T-bones are coming at a 60-mile-an-hour clip with people hauling tail down that road. I'll put 5th Street extended in one of the most dangerous roads in this community. Your thoughts on that topic? What are your thoughts on it and other most dangerous roads? What are your thoughts, viewers and listeners? Offer your perspective on air. Most dangerous roads in this community. What are they? Scott Aaronworth, hello, and welcome to the program. Are you back in the United States, Scott? Noel Jurgensen, I will get to your comment here. Judah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty dangerous. I'm not usually coming out of there at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I don't, but I do know what you're talking about when you hit the sun the wrong way and you're just basically blind. And if you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, you can't wait forever.
What is more dangerous?
Is there a more dangerous spot?
What are the most dangerous roads in the community? 53 is a road at times that could be quite sketchy. Have you been on 53 with a big ass truck behind you? Or have you been on 53 with some inclement weather or snow like we have now? 53 can be a little goosebumpy and raising of the hair on the skin. 53 I'll put in that mix. What are the most dangerous roads in this community? What do you got any you want to add there?
I would add heading up Pantops, all those businesses along there. You know, if you're
going up Pantops past Freebridge, like you're going to Keswick?
Yeah, Freebridge, Tip Top.
Dude, coming across from if you're going up Freebridge to Tip Top, that's sketch. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Either way, if you're coming out of one of those car dealerships on the other side and trying to head down the hill, or if you're coming out of Tip Top and trying to head up the hill, again, like you said, you're going across 2 lanes of traffic.
You're playing Frogger.
Plus a center lane. Like I went to Tip Top the other day, and trying to leave there, I wanted to go up the hill, and I sat there for a good 2 minutes just watching a stream of cars coming down, going 50 miles per hour, and I'm looking and I'm waiting and I'm thinking, okay, am I just going to have to make a break for it, or is there going to be a stop in the traffic?
Well, you got to be careful because you're loved and beloved, and so is your beautiful dog Liza.
Well, and I'm looking at the traffic going up the hill. I'm like, oh, there's nothing coming now. But what am I going to wait for the traffic to slow down coming down, and then I'm going to get hit with a bunch of cars coming up, so I still can't cross? It's one of those okay, do I just take my best chance, or do I wait?
Kelly Postel Jackson, always got something to say, an opinion we respect, love, and trust. KJ, happy 2022. She says, I live right there. In fact, Kelly Jackson, neighbors of your parents. Yep. We love you, Kelly Jackson. I live right there, and when the sun is rising and setting, it's blinding on 5th Street. She's 110% right. Scott Aaronworth is back in Virginia Beach. He says he misses his American food. He spent the holidays in Mexico. I see Mandy Wickower is watching. Mandy, are you watching in California, Mandy?
I can't imagine where else she'd be watching.
She would be in Cali. Yeah. Cali. Mandy, offer your perspective. You have perspective to offer. We love when you watch the show, MW. Noel Jurgensen says, I live north of town. I avoid 5th Street as much as possible due to traffic right now. I order delivery from Wegmans just to avoid it. It will be a traffic nightmare when it comes on air. Dude, I agree. I agree. Now, here's the next question. This is a logical question we should be asking. How does the traffic congestion, a lot of people don't want me to say this, but this is called common sense thinking. And you guys realize that I come to topics and perspective from a common sense standpoint. How will the traffic, you disagree with that? You gave me a little smirk. You disagree?
Sometimes.
I'm a common sense guy, don't you think?
Often.
Often, thank you. All right, I'll take often from you. How will the traffic congestion on 5th Street, and I have skin in the game here. I freaking own a rental property down there. How will the traffic congestion impact real estate values down 5th Street extended? If at rush in and rush out, I have skin in the game. I know you do. You have skin in the game too, your family. KJ's got skin in the game there too. Drive in between 8 and 9:30 in the morning and drive home between 4 and 6 p.m. If that 5th Street corridor at Wawa, 5th Street Station, and those 3 gas stations, shoot, you have the Food Line shopping center across the way. You have 2 shopping centers, right? You have 2 shopping centers and 3 gas stations and 4 lanes of traffic, 2 going in, 2 going out. How will that impact real estate values in that corridor and beyond? That is a legitimate, fair question.
I think Fifth Street Extended is in a good spot real estate wise. I think they just need someone to look out for them traffic wise.
I agree. I think it should be prioritized. And here's the intriguing thing. Here's really what intrigues me. And get ready for this. The city-county line, Charlottesville City, Albemarle County line, it hits right after 5th Street, right after 5th Street Station. The Albemarle County, Charlottesville City line, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Kelly Jackson, help me out here. Help me out here, Kelly Jackson. You checking that up, Judah?
Yeah, if I can.
You could probably do that on Google Maps. 5th Street Station, someone help me out here. Kelly Jackson, I'm looking at you here. Kelly Jackson, 5th Street Station is in the city of Charlottesville. Am I correct there? 5th Street Station, the Hearties, the Tiger Fuel gas station, and the gas station across the street, and the Food Lion Shopping Center. Those are in the city of Charlottesville, am I right? Someone let me know in the feed. Judah's also checking that out as well. Mandy Wickhauer in California. Help me out here, Mandy. Here's where, what's the saying, Judah? Wherein lies the rub. Here's the rub.
Yeah.
Here's the rub. Should the city allocate or push for the traffic prioritization along 5th Street when that corridor is essentially Albemarle County? Or should Albemarle County, thank you, Kelly. She says 5th Street Station is in the city of Charlottesville. KJ, you're making us better. This is for you, KJ. Or does Albemarle County leadership prioritize the traffic and congestion on 5th Street? The congestion legitimately is on the border. We have the answer, J-Dubs. 5th Street Station's in city. She's got a business there. She would know. The corridor the area that we're specifically discussing is literally on the Albemarle County City of Charlottesville line. Do we have two forms of government, two bodies of leadership that are passing the buck to the other because it's on the line? The skin in the game belongs to which entity? Albemarle or the city? If a roundabout is the right path, is it Albemarle's responsibility to make the push, or is it the city's? Or are both entities disregarding the correct strategy because of the location right on the line? That's a question that needs to be addressed. KJ says that the lights at 5th Street Station at 5 p.m. are always out of sync and it's a train wreck. If they sync the lights correctly, it would be way better. She lives on that side of town. Kelly Jackson, giving you props right now, writing that in the feed to you. That is where the rub lies. Is government passing the buck because it's on the jurisdictional boundary? That's the beautiful thing of talk shows like this, because it gets us thinking of topics that matter to us. Local government has a greater impact on our day-to-day life than the federal government will ever have. Just ask the pedestrian that died on Saturday evening in the 900th block of 5th Street, a little past 10 p.m. A crash involving two SUVs. An adult male driver was taken to UVA hospital with life-threatening injuries, but is now in stable condition. Another occupant of the vehicle, an adult female of Richmond, died at the scene.
What does that have to do with pedestrians?
It has to do with people in vehicles on the road we're discussing. That's what it has to do with. Think about that and have that conversation tonight at your dinner table, please. Three Notched Brewing Company. You're a fan of Three Notched.
Yeah.
It's my favorite brewery.
I do like their beers.
Minuteman's my favorite beer. You know that. Ghost is my wife's favorite beer. Dave Warwick makes damn good beers. Very difficult to find Ghosts right now. I would love if we had a little bit more Ghosts. If there was a word of encouragement I could offer is I would love to be able to purchase Ghost in cans at the brewery in Ix. It's been difficult to do that of late.
I would love to be able to buy their brown.
They're brown?
What is it? No Vito Brown.
Okay.
Great beer. Never see it in cans.
Never see. It's tough to find Ghosts. 3 of my top 10 favorite beers, Minuteman, Ghost, and 40 Mile, all from the same brewery. Mm-hmm. They've signed a distribution deal, Judah. Commonwealth-wide distribution for this brewing company that was created by some amigos at the old McGrady's Irish pub. This brewing company will now send its beer across the Commonwealth of Virginia in a deal struck and signed with Premium Distributors of Virginia. Premium Distributors of Virginia is part of Reyes Beer Division of Reyes Holdings, a U.S.-based international company that delivers more than 1.2 billion with a B cases of beverage and food products from over 200 locations worldwide. There's an article about this in the Daily Progress. The distribution agreement includes more than 100,000 cases of three-notched products, including my favorite beer, Minuteman, 40 Mile in my top 10, the Nephology Juicy IPA series, and offerings like the Hydraulian Red and Local Lager. George Castendike, the CEO and founder of Three Notch. George, you're a hell of a squash player. I would love to play some squash with you, George, soon. When can we play, please? You run a hell of a business. I love your brewery. Try to patronize it as much as possible. Let's get some squash court time, please. George says in the Daily Progress, quote, as our business has grown, we knew we needed a partner to help enhance our brand and distribution capabilities. Our partnership with Premium Distributors of Virginia will help take us to the next level, and we're excited about what's to come, end quote. I'm excited too. I applaud and champion success of local businesses on this network because I'm a local business too, and I understand how hard it is to run a local business, especially in a climate that is COVID and Omicron. Good job, Three Notch. Love this news. Super excited. Can't wait to see your beer on shelves across the Commonwealth. I brought 2 cases of your beer to Long Island for the holidays so my in-laws and my family, my brother-in-law and his beautiful girlfriend could enjoy it. They love your beer too. The only thing I want to highlight, as you sign this distribution deal, and you've already signed it, my hope is Charlottesvillians and Central Virginians will still be able to enjoy and drink the plethora of all your brands. I'm slightly worried that this distro deal will impact your production, pinch your supply chains, and when we go to the brewery at Ix, there may be less offerings for us here in your hometown. I hope that's not the case. I'd like to see the Ghost back in cans daily when we go in there. It's my wife's favorite beer. It's her favorite beer. She's been drinking a lot of Basic City 6 Lord, her second favorite beer, because the Ghost has not been available. But regardless, props Three Notch on this deal. Now let's talk next topic, J-Dubs, and I'm so curious to hear your topic on this, because I have a feeling you're going to have something snarky to say. Kids are back in school. We're supposed to be back in school today. We all know we had a pretty heavy snowstorm yesterday. We had some icy roads this morning. You dealt with the ice. In about 20 seconds, put in perspective what you had to do and that luxurious Ford that you drive, Ford sedan.
Well, there was a significant amount of sliding, and let's just say that
he lives off Rio Road.
Once the roads are cleared of snow, that does not necessarily mean they're still good to drive on. Especially when you've got, like 20 degree temperatures overnight. So I don't think they put out a whole lot of, I think they were so busy
But they didn't really treat the roads.
Yeah, they didn't treat the roads last night.
So you had to basically fight for your life. I mean, that's a little hyperbole, but you had to drive under a fallen tree, right?
Under a fallen tree in the oncoming traffic lane, and slipping and sliding, hoping that I could make it all the way up the hill. But I made it. I survived. Nobody hit me. I didn't hit anyone else.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. James Watson, if you look at the map of 5th Street Station, there's a new road could be built. There's a new road that could be built that runs from Wegmans lot through the woods, just east of the Holiday Inn, directly onto 64. You'd have to look at a map to understand what I'm saying. He says there's potential to construct a new road to help the traffic flow. Thank you, James Watson. We love you when you watch the program, JW. The other JW on the I Love CVille Network family, James Watson, who offers very good perspective. I want to have this community as great as possible. The name of one of my businesses is the name of the community, with a heart and an I next to it. So I try to evangelize for positivity and quality of life. The last thing we want is this community to become Fredericksburg or Northern Virginia. Sprawl. No plan, no strategy, no growth. No growth plan. All right, kids were supposed to go to school today. Obviously, the weather kept that from happening. This is what I found most intriguing. Virtual school was canceled today due to snow. Explain that to me. How does virtual school get canceled due to snow, my friend?
I can explain it to you.
Please.
So remember we mentioned in the earlier show today that my parents had trouble with their internet as well as with their power. And we kind of jokingly said, well, maybe you need to turn your modem on and on.
You joke. I did not joke with Big Jim Wickhauer. You joke with Mr. Wickhauer.
Well, one of the things I found out from my...
I did find it funny, by the way.
One of the things I found out is that they had... I didn't know this yesterday, but they had called...
Is that what the phone call was about?
Not really, but
Okay.
they had called... I did find out that they had called their internet service provider and found out that they were supposed to get the internet back on at 9 o'clock this evening. Fortunately, that was not true, and they woke up this morning to find out that they had their internet back on. So, that being said, think of that in terms of kids and teachers, and not all of them living, close in
the urban ring or in the city.
And so sometimes it's not just the power that goes out, it's the internet that goes out.
I figured you were going to go down that road. I anticipated that. So here's my counterpoint for the sake of a talk show. Two guys having a chat. You got your coffee? Your Shenandoah Joe's? Dave Fafaro, we love you. What are you drinking? Some Shenandoah Joe's?
I guess.
Yes. They're the partners of the show. Yes, it's Shenandoah Joe's. They're our partners. The school cancellation. Cancellation.
Yeah, cancellation.
Okay, I had a Z in there, another syllable. The school cancellation is the city of Charlottesville.
You're saying...
That's the intriguing part. The school cancellation, virtual school cancellation.
So you're saying
it's not Fluvanna, Orange, Louisa.
So you're saying everybody that goes to the
City
school
of
system
Charlottesville
should be within Charlottesville.
Oh, well, yeah. Yes.
But you're not
Unless it's a teacher.
You're not taking into account the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah, teachers, the likelihood, I would say, and I can say this with confidence and conviction, the majority of teachers that work for the city of Charlottesville do not live in the city of Charlottesville.
And you know what else I will add? I think you clearly do not remember, or maybe you never had snow days as a kid.
I had snow
Because
days.
they are a pleasure. They are a joy that is worth
Experiencing.
not just experiencing, but reveling in. I mean, there's nothing quite like getting up in the morning and finding out that you've got a snow day and either relaxing for a while or just immediately throwing on your snow clothes. I lived in Maine for 10 years, so we had snow clothes, like, the kind of things like pullover, like.
Oh, I know what snow clothes are.
And getting the sleds out and, going and having fun.
All right, I'm gonna give you props.
If I had found out that school was canceled and I was gonna have to sit in front of a computer screen and deal with the same thing, but at home, I mean, that would be such a drag.
Okay, and that's 100% right. We give Judah props. His perspective, valued and appreciated on this network. What his perspective is not offering here, two men having a chat over coffee. You get your coffee?
I've got my coffee.
I got my coffee too. Parents, moms and dads that are watching this show, anybody at their wit's end with their child being at home post-Christmas and holiday break, the first freaking day back
I've got a counter to your counter.
From holiday break, and your kid, we all love our kids. I have a 3.5-year-old. My wife is carrying the burden right now at home. We have a 3.5-year-old. We love our kid more than anything on this planet. But freaking moms and dads out there, who wants their bambinos and bambinas en la escuela, en la school, ahora mismo? Kelly, you do, don't you? I know my wife does. The first day back from winter break, these damn kids are staying home again.
It's just bad timing. But
staying home again.
But seriously, think about it. You're staying home as well. On a day.
I'm in the office, dog.
On a day like yesterday.
I'm in the office, homie. We're in the office right now. Are we not in the office? I'm not staying home. I'm at work.
You mean kids have? Okay, you're talking about today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think you've got to take into account things like teachers and just the roads are not great.
Yeah. Well, you saw it this morning. They're better now because it's melting.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing until it freezes again.
What's the temperature right now?
Look, let's not look. Let's put the over/under on 32. I would say it's over 32. What's the temperature right now? It's 1:19 p.m. Ooh, it's a push.
I'm gonna say
it's 32 on the dot. It's a push.
Yeah. See?
It's a push.
So the sun may be melting the ice, but the sun is not going to be overhead for much of the day, which means that anything that it melts is just going to refreeze. And so if, as they hadn't this morning, if there's not that salt or whatever they're using nowadays on the roads, you're talking about frozen roads again.
Well, you know what? One of your millions of adoring fans is giving you props right now on the feed.
Well,
Scott Williams, who a former teacher. Remember Scotty Williams? He's come on the network many times. Scott Williams is jacked. Scott Williams has great feet. Scott Williams is a tremendous dancer. Scott Williams is a handsome guy. Scott Williams is a dynamic person.
And I'm one of his millions of fans.
Oh, Judah Whitcar thinks Scott Williams is great people. We love you, Scotty Williams. We love you, Scotty Williams. He said, well said, Judah. Fun fact from a former teacher. We like snow days more than the students.
I bet.
The first day snow shows up on the extended forecast, conversations resonate throughout the school. Scotty Williams.
I'm sure they're psyched.
Scotty Williams. Kelly Jackson, a mother of two, who was very happy on the first day of school. I saw you in your car dancing to music in your vehicle when you dropped your daughters off at school and you didn't have to see them at home during the days anymore. You know what that's like? My wife knows what it's like. She said, we're going to get more snow on Friday. Cry face emoji. Kids at home some more. Scotty Williams, we love you. I love you, Scott Williams. I love you, Scott Williams.
Anyone who doesn't like snow days leads a sad, sad life.
Oh my gosh. Didn't the snow days lose a little bit of its appeal, its sex appeal as we became adults? Or am I just being a sourpuss on that? And you can tell me I'm being a sourpuss.
You're just being a sourpuss. It's a day off.
We're working! We have responsibilities to our clients and we're not taking the day off.
Yesterday we did.
Yesterday you worked from home. Did you work from home?
Yeah.
You got paid a full day. You got paid a full day's wage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you worked a full day.
I didn't work a full day.
Okay,
because I had my power out for half the day.
You got a full day's wage of pay, and you did not work a full day. You know what they call that?
That's on you.
No, but you know what they call that?
You could have just given us the day off.
Judah, we have contractual obligations for clients that pay our salaries.
Hey, you're the boss.
We have contractual.
I'm just the guy that does the work.
We have contractual.
Okay. You can make excuses if you want.
They're not excuses. They're signed contracts that we've negotiated. They're signed contracts. This is, what do I always say? If it was fun?
I don't know. If it's fun, then...
if it was fun, it would be called work. That was funny. I'll give you some props. I'm coming over to give you props. That was funny. Props. That was props. I'll give you props. If it's fun, it would be called work, dog. Oh, man.
This guy does not like snow days. I'm just telling you guys.
I have a child at home that's driving my wife crazy after an entire day of holiday break. We'll leave it at that. Wintergreen is resuming skiing. I found that intriguing.
They just got a ton of snow.
I know, right? But the unseasonably warm temperatures of late have caused skiing to go on hiatus at Wintergreen. Here's the question I want to ask of you. Global warming and unseasonably warm weather. Were you here for Christmas? I was on Long Island. You were here, right?
I was in Charlottesville.
You were in a t-shirt and shorts, right? It was that warm, right?
Christmas Day was a balmy 70 degrees.
Right.
It was glorious.
Right, yeah, he loves warm weather.
But again...
You like warm weather.
I'm a California boy.
You're a California. Warm weather, right? 70 degrees in Charlottesville. Roughly that warm on the mountains in Wintergreen. So when it's that warm, you can't even make fake snow, right?
I guess
you can't. So you have to pause skiing. Here's the question. Global warming and unseasonably warm temperatures, how does that impact the many people who live as their primary residence or have purchased second homes around Wintergreen Resort? Global warming. Does global warming and the unseasonably warm temperatures that happen year after year after year, we all understand it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer. How does that impact real estate values around a ski resort in the freaking south? South of the Mason-Dixon line. Are you as bullish at Wintergreen second home ownership now as you were 30 years ago?
It's easy to say that now, but when the next time we have an unseasonably cold year...
When is the last time we've had an unseasonably cold year?
I'd have to...
Go to the Farmer's Almanac? Do you trust the Farmer's Almanac?
I've never opened one, so I have no idea. But
You never opened a Farmer's
Almanac?
Almanac?
They're pretty good.
I would not be as bullish. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Do you guys think I'm wrong that's watching the program? You got warm temperatures. KJ, Covenant and Stab, St. Anne's Belfield, just closed for tomorrow. KJ is freaking out over there. KJ, I hope you got some. What's your beverage of choice, KJ? I hope you have some beverages right now. Oh, God, that means her daughters are home. I'm responding by ay mi madre on the feed right now to you. Parents, I feel you. Parents, I know what it's like. My wife really knows what it's like. She's carrying the load. She normally does at the house. Sweetheart, I love you. But all husbands and wives understand that the stress of one partner, often through osmosis or in real time, translate to the stresses and anxiety of the other person. And that's what we call marriage. That's what we call marriage. The next topic, this is dot the I's and cross the trees. Dot the I's and cross the T's on the Wintergreen topic. Unseasonably warm weather where the resort can't operate. Probably not tailwinds, most likely headwinds for real estate around the resort. It seems like some common sense to me. Atlantic Union is closing its downtown location. Atlantic Union Bank is closing its downtown branch in March. Bank of America has already closed its downtown branch. This is the question I have for you. So first, the bit of news. The news is Atlantic Union Bank is closing its downtown branch in March. The next, we're common sense people that try to see down the road and be forward thinking. That's how we stay successful. Here's the question I'm going to ask everybody. What is the future of banking on the Charlottesville downtown mall? Does anyone find it odd that Bank of America does not have a branch in downtown Charlottesville? I do. Now, I understand that banking is now turning into kiosks and ATMs. And 90% of the time, a kiosk or ATM is all we need from a banking perspective. But that 10% of the time, when you need to talk in person to a banker, the convenience of that relationship is disappearing in downtown Charlottesville. And there is, go ahead.
Is it really convenient to go to a bank on the downtown mall?
That's evidently the banks say no. They're closing their branches. And I follow by saying this. And I'm choosing my words carefully, but I truly believe this, so I'm not even going to choose my words carefully. The movers and shakers in Charlottesville, the movers and shakers of Charlottesville work in downtown Charlottesville. Downtown Charlottesville, the judges, the lawyers, the hedge funds, the tech companies, the best network in the community, downtown Charlottesville. To disappear or to close your branch in downtown Charlottesville seems to me, what's the phrase? Can't see the forest through the trees?
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're talking about anywhere in downtown, are we talking about specifically on the downtown mall?
Anywhere downtown. But yes, in this particular case, Atlantic Union downtown and Bank of America on the mall.
So my issue with banks on the mall is that it's a pain to park to get to the mall, and you're really going to do your banking by...
You think it's a pain to park? Oh,
yeah.
That frustrates me. Really?
Well, if
You've never had difficulty.
I spend 8 minutes walking here.
I spent 8 minutes walking here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun this morning. That's not my point, though.
Liza enjoyed it?
My point is the bank is not usually overrun with cars and people. So most bank outlets, you can find an easy parking spot and walk right in.
Yes.
So why would you want to park 2 or 3 blocks away from the downtown mall and walk to a bank on the downtown mall to go inside? It just seems counterproductive.
Okay,
It's better. The bank is the kind of place where you can just have the branch somewhere on a road.
Scott Bandy says this: doesn't Bank of America have a location somewhere at the Emmett and Barracks intersection? Yes, it does. He's absolutely right. There's a Bank of America, arguably its headquarters in Charlottesville at Barracks Road. And to Judah's point, parking around the Bank of America headquarters in Barracks Road is convenient and easy. I would counter that point by saying this: having a walk-in or drop-in where the movers and shakers in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, I mean, most of the people that are working down here live in Albemarle County. Let's cut to the chase. I live in Albemarle County. You live in Albemarle County or the city of Charlottesville? You're right on the line. Are you city?
County.
You're county. All right. Most of the movers and shakers that work downtown Charlottesville live in Albemarle County, not the city of Charlottesville. To have a drop-in option where a mover and shaker is able to make a human connection and know the first name and where they work and sit at, the desk they sit at, for a bank has value, because those mover and shakers eventually are going to need a business loan, or a loan to purchase a commercial property, or a loan to purchase a home, or a loan to a HELOC, a home equity line of credit to do a transformation on their house.
But are they going to do any of that in the middle of a workday?
Yes! The connection is made. Judah, see, this is the difference between I'm saying this in respectful fashion. We each have our roles at this business, right? Okay. Payables and receivables and negotiating contracts and making deals happen and driving new business and determining the vision and where this company is going. Whose role is that?
Yours. I mean, what?
That's okay. That's my role, right?
Are you trying to make a point?
No, that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm in and out, interacting with people, making human connections every day, 7 days a week, 24/7, 365. And for me to be able to go into a bank and have a connection with a banker when I need a HELOC or a bank line of a business line of credit or a loan to purchase the Macklin building, I'm much more likely to do that through a local bank if I can see people at the local bank. As they erode their positions in downtown Charlottesville, where I'm at, that is eroding their customer base. That's my point. And that's, common sense. Scott Aaronworth says, I missed the Prime 109 at the old Bank of America. A lot of people do. Problem was, Prime 109, and I respect Mitch and Lauren considerably, Prime 109 was a tough business model. A steakhouse right down the road from another steakhouse at an incredibly expensive price point, open right before COVID, at a monthly rent that was the highest in downtown Charlottesville, that's a tough model. All right, a couple other topics because we got a conference call at 1:45 here. The NCAA tournament says for now that they're still on schedule to host their tourneys. Look, I'll cut to the chase. It's about money. The NCAA cannot afford not to have March Madness. The NCAA, if Omicron continues to spike, will likely just make March Madness happen in a bubble with no fans, and no one wants to see that. I think, and I'm basing this on commentary and analysis from Dr. Scott Gottlieb of CNBC, I think Omicron and COVID is going to spike in this month, and come February and entering spring, it's going to taper down. As the warmer months, people can get outside, and as more of us are going to get vaccinated. We're going to deal with COVID forever. It's going to be like the flu, where we're going to have to get a fresh vaccine every year or every 6 months. But warmer weathers, the pandemic and this damn thing are going to taper down. They're going to taper down. So NCAA, I don't see March Madness disappearing this year. Could it happen in a bubble with no fans? Absolutely. Do we want that? Hell no, we don't. I love March Madness. It's my favorite time of the sports calendar year. New York City real estate, Manhattan in particular, has topped record prices in 2021. It reached $30 billion in sales. This from CNBC moments ago. Manhattan real estate posted its best year ever, rebounding from the pandemic with a record $30 billion in deals, according to real estate reports. The strength shows no signs of slowing down in 2022. Fourth quarter sales volume of over $6.7 billion with a B, marked the best fourth quarter in at least 32 years, according to a report from Miller Samuel and Douglas Elliman. Brokers say the pandemic discount in Manhattan is now largely gone. The average price for an apartment in Manhattan is now $1.95 million. I'll say that again. The average price for an apartment in Manhattan is now $1.95 million. The median price jumped 11% in the fourth quarter alone compared to Q4 2020. Remember early in the pandemic of 2020, we were saying COVID would be the collapse, the demise, the destruction, the depression of real estate in urban environments, and New York City was the toast of that chat and conversation? Well, guess what? As Jerry Seinfeld said it, as Frank Sinatra said it, what did Frank Sinatra say? Two Shot. About New York.
What did he say about New York?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
New York, New York, New York. It's best city in America.
Oh, okay.
Not a fan of the city? You like the city. Not a fan of New York?
I don't even know if I've been to New York.
You haven't been to the Big Apple?
I've driven by it.
You got to go to the Big Apple. Go to the Big Apple. It's fantastic. My wife spent 8 years on the Upper East Side working for Blackstone. Did you see Tim Kaine was trapped on I-95 for 19 hours? This is from Jeff Leonard. Jeff Leonard watches the program from this morning. 19 hours, Senator of Virginia Tim Kaine trapped on I-95. 19 hours. He said he tweeted that he started his normal drive, a 2-hour drive to DC at 1 p.m. yesterday. 19 hours later, he was nowhere near the Capitol. He said a Connecticut family returning from Florida up I-95 to Connecticut was handing out oranges to cars stuck in traffic. Traffic and the road itself was closed. People spent north of 20 hours in their vehicles in sub-20 degree weather trying to stay alive. Look, there's worse things that can happen besides being stuck in your car during a snowpocalypse. And if you don't think there's worse things going to happen, you need to open your eyes and gain some perspective. This ain't war. This ain't a battlefield. People aren't getting machine gunned down or nuked. But still, it offers perspective for us. Live life to the fullest and make every second count, because there are times you could be Tim Kaine stuck in your car for 19 hours on an interstate. And yes, even powerful politicians suffer like most average Joes. Apple has hit a $1 trillion valuation. $1 trillion for Apple. Let me see if I can find that article from the New York Times. I read it earlier today. Apple, you're on a one shot over there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put in perspective Apple's $1 trillion valuation. This is from the New York Times yesterday. If you take the combined values of the following companies, they're still below the value of Apple, the valuation of Apple. You combine Walmart, Disney, Netflix, Nike, ExxonMobil, Coca-Cola, Comcast, Morgan Stanley, McDonald's, AT&T, Goldman Sachs, Boeing, IBM, and Ford. You combine all those, and still Apple is worth more. The computer company that started in a California garage in 1976 is now worth $1 trillion. I said $1 trillion. $3 trillion. $3 trillion. I have $1 trillion in there. That was my mistake on the rundown. It's $3 trillion. $3 trillion. Make sure we correct that when we syndicate this show, if we could. J-Dubs. $3 trillion. That was my mistake. I apologize. You combine Walmart, Disney, Netflix, Nike, Exxon, Coca-Cola, Comcast, Morgan Stanley, McDonald's, AT&T, Goldman Sachs, Boeing, IBM, and Ford, and still Apple is worth more. This is the second largest position in my portfolio, Apple. Number one is NVIDIA. I love the semiconductors. I also own AMD. That shocks the hell out of me. Apple, with its hardware, taking over the world. I have a MacBook Air in front of me, right? Judah's on a Mac desktop. I have an iPhone in my hand. I have an Apple Watch on my wrist. Judah's got he's got an iPhone on a desk in front of him. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Apple products right here amongst the two of us. My wife is watching this show on an iPad. Oh, Judah, we forgot Apple TV on the screen here. We have 3 Apple TVs and 3 iPads. Good Lord, 2 people, right? 3 iPads to run this network, 3 Apple TVs to run this network. That's 6, right, J-Dubs? 2
computers, 2 phones.
And a watch. 2 computers, 2 phones, and a watch. That's 5. That's 11 Apple products amongst 2 people. Think about that. 11 Apple products amongst 2 people. Hence the $3 trillion valuation. All right, we got to go speedy here. Conference call at 1:45 for us with an important client. Best snow day food and drinks, 2-shot J-Dubs. Dude, my wife made a delicious grilled cheese with tomato soup and hot cocoa yesterday. It was one of the best meals I've had in a long time. I shoveled the entire driveway yesterday. Shoveling snow sucks. I shoveled the entire driveway, came in to grilled cheese, tomato soup, and hot cocoa, and it was one of the best meals I've had in a long time.
Grilled cheese and tomato soup are
Staples.
That's comfort food. I think comfort food is always great on a snow day.
So yours is?
Hot chocolate.
I said hot cocoa. You like hot cocoa too.
Yeah. I don't know that I've. It's got to be warm. It's got to be. I don't know about. It's got to be.
So what do you got?
Comfort food.
What is your food?
I don't think I have a.
You don't have a favorite
one.
snow day food?
No. Yesterday I made hash browns with green peppers, bell peppers, and I made some delicious eggs.
Oh.
Fluffy eggs. So good.
I like that. This sounds delicious and delightful. Fluffy eggs are Judah's favorite snow day food. Fluffy eggs. Yeah. I like fluffy eggs. I like my eggs fluffy. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't like fluffy eggs? I love fluffy eggs.
Fluffy scrambled eggs.
Fluffy scrambled eggs. Fluff, fluff, fluff. New show launches tomorrow, Wednesday at 10:15 a.m., featuring Scott Morris of Ross Mortgage. Scott Morris is a dynamic guy with poignant perspective. This will be, God, this network is growing quickly. So 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. This will be our 11th show on the I Love CVille Network. That's more local programming than any other media station or network in Central Virginia. 11 various shows on the I Love CVille Network. The newest one launches at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow, featuring Scott Morris. We encourage everyone to follow I Love CVille on Instagram. A little over 13,200 people on our I Love CVille Instagram account. We have the third largest Instagram following in the city of Charlottesville and in Central Virginia. Number 1 is the University of Virginia. In fact, I'm checking now. Number 1 is UVA. UVA has, a lot. 124,000 followers at UVA, number 1. Charlottesville, Virginia has 39,400 followers. That's 2. And number 3, the third largest Instagram account in Central Virginia is the I Love CVille Instagram at 13,200. Follow us and help us grow. We post news there first. I Love CVille on Instagram. Follow us. For Judah Wickower, I'm Jerry Miller. Thank you to Skooma Boutique Dispensary, Animal Connection, the Boar's Head Resort, Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine, American Pests, Rotate That Branding Strip, Ting Fiber Internet, Interstate Pest Control, IMBS Medical Services, for being a part of this show. We love you all. And if you'd like to become a part of this show and watch as your business booms as we take your brand to another level, reach out to me. We're the best in this community at what we do. Thank you kindly for joining us. Have a good afternoon, everybody.